area, that is a image segmentation. This is very, very important one. So image segmentation is always plays a very major role in the day-to-day image processing application. And let me conclude, let me intimate that the segmentation also act as one of the hybrid techniques in further processing applications also. It is also act as a one of the technique to do the further applications. Okay, for suppose, okay, let me first define the segmentation, then I will go with the application areas of segmentation. So image segmentation is the process of partitioning a digital image into multiple segments. Okay, like what are the types of segments you are acquiring from that particular image is going to change from technique to technique. Here the goal of segmentation is to simplify and or change the representation of an image into something that is more meaningful and easier to analyze. This is our objective of segmentation. Here I'm going to acquiring specific interesting area of the image or specific part of the image for further analysis. That means instead of concentrating on the whole part or unnecessary information of the image. Okay, so let me take my I'm taking one image. It is having my interesting object is there. In addition to my interesting area, other areas also there, unwanted areas. I want to remove that unwanted area to to put all my concentration on interesting part of my body, interesting part of the image. Then what you can do, you can just go and apply any one of the techniques to go with the segmentation process or to concentrate on the specific part of the image. Okay, that is the important one. Okay, now what is the next levels of image segmentation? Once, yes, I carried particular, I selected or acquired specific area, specific region of the images, then what are the next step I can do on my segmentation? Once the image is segmented and specific or interesting part of the image is readily available for me, then what I can do with on that? Then I can do that some what we can call some brushing on that particular segmented data, either by using the morphological processing or either by using the object recognition and identification. Remember, these two steps mostly follows the segmentation process. Okay, to give more strength to the output of the segmented data. Okay, sometimes you feel that the segmented data is not having or not meeting up to the mark. It is not giving the clear clarity on the edges. It is not giving the all fine details of the images. Then what you can do, you can go with the morphological processing. This morphological processing will make you more convenient. Okay, that means if you want to get only fine details from the segmented data, you can go with some closing or opening operation or dilation or erosion operation. Or if you want to get some to fill the gap between the edge to edge or point to point or segment to segment, then you can go with the same morphological operation, either using the dilation or erosion process or closing or opening technique. Okay, then once you're done with the morphological processing and you feel that the segmented data is up to the mark and you feel it is comfortable for easy analysis, then you can go with the recognition and identification. Once you're done and doing some process, let me take one example. So you have your X-ray report. So for easy identification, so they will give some mark on the end of the X-ray report that is related to some OP number or your name or patient claim, like that. Okay, that means some identification or recognition. Once if you acquire some particular part of the image, particular region of the image, then you should have the capability to identify to recognize this part is related to which image, or this particular report or X-ray report is related to which person or which patient. That recognition or identification also should able to give by using of, once if you finish the segmentation process, by using of technique of object recognition and identification process. Then what are the techniques are readily available for segmentation process? Either point detection to isolate the points of the images. Okay, then you can go with line detection to identify the specific lines. You can go with either horizontal identification or vertical or diagonal, whatever the lines you feel comfortable to identify. You can go with the line detection operation. And edges, remember, edge detection is very important in segmentation. It is one of the important feature of the images also for further process or further analysis. Okay, the edge detection is always speaks or always gives almost 90% information of the image or object. Okay, so the edge also very important in speech recognition. Okay, in our signal transmission, if I transmit my audio signal, so recognition or identification of my audio, so the edges also plays very important role. Then the thresholding, to make the image, to segment the image into different regions, region 1 and region 2 likewise. And region segmentation to acquire specific part of the image, that is ROA, region of interest, interested part of the image in the particular area. That also we can do with region segmentation. Then clustering. Okay, this clustering nowadays will become very familiar technique in all AI techniques, machine learning algorithms. Okay, so if you want to, once the regions are identified, then you should have the capability to make into clusters, region 1 into one cluster, region 2 into one other cluster, based on some feature extraction process. Okay, so the clustering also very, very important technique under image segmentation. So nowadays the clustering is carrying very, very familiar across applications in all AI technique and machine learning applications for deep learning analysis also. Okay, so this is about the brief introduction of the segmentation. The objective is here to acquire particular part or interesting area of the image as an output of segmentation. Okay, the segmentation always follows morphological, object recognition, identification, and these are the techniques. Then let me take you to the applications of image segmentation. There are a lot of applications. There is no limitation for image segmentation. This is one of the brief idea about the segmentation. Now you can see here, this is one image what I captured here. My intention is I want to study only this person. I want to identify face identification. This is called face identification of this particular image. So I identified this is the image, this is the face, and let me go with the first feature of this image is the face. That's a person identification. Sorry. So now I am just extracting the my region of interest. This is ROI of my image, ROI of my input image. Then once the ROI is readily available, that is a person, then my interest is only to identify the face. Who is he? He is some X or some Y. There's a face identification. Or per suppose, if you want to identify the particular, okay, what are the other features he is having, that is called texture analysis. So I can extract the texture of that particular person. This is the one area what I can concentrate on particular input image. Let me take other example. I am not having the interest on the person. I am not having the interest on the person. Then what is my interest? My interest is on this particular field. Okay, so what is the field is actually having? Is there any problem in the field? Okay, is there any related information is available in the field? Then I can take the background, that is called sports field. That likewise I can extract either sports field, or either I can extract only other than sports field and person, the other crowd I can extract. This is a crowd information. From once this is the region of information is readily available, ROI, region of interest data is readily available. From this I can extract multiple features. This is very, very important right now in deep learning analysis or machine learning analysis applications. Remember, okay, so we are extracting lot of features. How you can extract those features? First you have to do the segmentation. Either face is one of the feature, texture or test or color identification or curve, what are the lines, what are the shapes are readily available. Okay, likewise you can extract various information readily available once if you're done with the image segmentation technique. Okay, then once if you're done with the image, this is one of the example I'm trying to show. This will give you more and more brief overview of segmentation process. Okay, now I'm going with addressing the application. So image segmentation is having lot of application. There is no limitation for you for this. So I'm just giving the brief only few applications related to the image segmentation. That's the first one is the medical application. Now you can see it is the iris. Ophthalmologist always should have the capability to study the fine details of eyeball. Okay, here you can see these are the by fine details of the eyeball structure. Okay, now once the nerve structures and fine information is readily available, for this I am applying the edge detection technique, edge detection. So this is one of my technique I am applying on my input data. Then this is the output, what I am getting for output of the edge detection technique. Okay, so with this edge detection information, I can able to tell. So the neurons is having proper connection. Okay, all neurons are properly connected or nothing, but the nervous system is properly connected with the having of a healthy environment connections or not. Likewise, the ophthalmologist will have the capability to study very clear analysis on the eyeball. Like this is one of the example. Similar way, you can go with MRI scan reports. Either you can go with the CT or X-rays okay, or either any various applications you can go run with the medical applications with the segmentation technique. Okay, then the next one, the satellite images. This is very important one. For suppose once if you captured some aerial image of the aerial image, if you captured some aerial image, then you want to study. So is there any unauthentical details are there, or some intruder information is readily available in this aerial image? Then you can do with either edge detection or either ROA, region segmentation, or either some feature extractions also to identify the. Right now, you know that as in current situation, we are having lot of trouble with the China, that is LO in the border. Okay, so we are always regularly minute to minute you should have the capability to monitor the aerial images. In each and aerial image you should have the capability of to identify the persons or to identify the intruders. Any intruder is unintentionally entering into in our border or in our region. Likewise, for more applications it is having the importance, that is the segmentation is having more importance. Then the next important one, optical character recognition, that is a OCR, optical character recognitions. Okay, so in OCR what I can do is, you have the data, you have the old data, that means some Mahatma Gandhi letters are there, or some any I can call some experts literatures are there. So those literatures are not readily available, not readily available for readiness purpose. Then what you can do, you can apply OCR technique to just identify the optical character. That means it is going to give the output is only characters, okay, only letters. Okay, then you can easily able to identify the words for easy analysis or further reading purpose. So that is the applications of the image segmentation in OCR also. The further applications of segmentations are in surveillance applications. Okay, the surveillance applications you can see. So I think in traffic lights are nothing but various like shopping malls, or either the traffic areas, or either some advanced some military applications, some surveillance applications. We are readily available to capture the data. Every minute data should be readily available. Like one more application I can address here, that is the automatic vehicle riding also. So right now the most of the cars are autonomous cars are readily available. So those autonomous cars should have the capability to capture every second fraction of information, road information, to move or to run the vehicle. Okay, these type of applications are readily available. Then face recognition, this is also I already discussed. Okay, this is also one of the authentication technique, like fingerprint recognition, iris recognition, face identification. All these applications you can use. And mission vision applications also, just now I addressed that. Okay, all computer visionary application like deep learning application, or all these applications you can done with the segmentation. Then HARS, this is a content based image retrieval. If you give any data as an input, if you type HARS in a Google, then immediately it will give the lot of information related to your input data, input word. So that is called content based image retrieval. This is also depends upon the feature extraction. So all these applications are plays very important role with the segmentation process. Okay, then the next technique is the image mosaic. This is the other research area. This is also having a lot of applications, but most of the research is not carrying under this. But you, if you want to have interest to carry the research with the image mosaic also, you can take combination of with other techniques also. Okay, now what the image mosaicing? Mosaicing is nothing but a just connecting or concatenating, or nothing but just connecting of various images, which are combining of various images are captured with various times or multi directions also. Let me take one example. Here I am using the two cameras. Okay, I am using two cameras. I want to capture this image is having the capacity to capture only 180 degrees coverage. This image is also having the capture capability only 180 degrees, but I want to get the entire all dimensions 360 degrees view of my object. Then what I can do, I have to use two cameras which covers first 180 degrees and next 180 degrees by other camera. Okay, then if you want to study the entire information of that scene, I need to concat these two images at a time to get the more clarity, okay, of that particular image. Instead of concentrating on the single image, I am going to concentrating on one single image. Okay, instead of concentrating on the multiple images, I am going to concentrate on single images, that is having the all information in a single frame. Okay, all 360 degrees information in a single frame. That means this is one example. For suppose I am capturing image. Okay, this is the capturing device. First, initially one object is here. Later, sometime the object is moved in the other location. That means I need to calculate distance, how much distance it is, nothing but the object is moved from point 1 to point B. Okay. Or what the object is, once the object is moved from point A to point B, what are the features are changed? Okay. So likewise, that is all these applications, the image mosaic is plays very important role. That means I have the larger view of scene. It cannot fit with the single cam. I need to take multiple directions or multiple scenes, and I'm going to concatenate those images, or within a single view or within a single frame. Okay. So image mosaicing is made by cementing together, concatenating together into small together of small tiles to make it as a big image. Okay, that is a high resolutional images. Okay, I am having of small resolutional images. We're having of small size. I have the size of 2 by 2. I have the size of 2 by 2. Likewise, this n number of images I'm going to mix or concat or cementing together to frame into the 128 by 128 frame images. Okay, so this is the image. Okay, this 2 by 2 is captured by the one camera. This other 2 by 2 is captured by other camera. Likewise, okay. So likewise, you are going to cementing of all tiles into the single frame images. The problem of image mosaicing combinations are three important problems. What are the problems? I have the two images are readily available with me. Okay, this is the image 1. This is the image 2. Okay, these are the two different dimensions. Okay, and I want to concatenate these two images. So initially, what are the parameters I need to check? The first one you need to check with geometric deformation. That is, what are the geometric formations of these two locational matching? If it is a 0, 0 location, you should match with 0, 0 location only. You cannot go with the other location. Similarly, image registration, I will discuss this topic in the next slides. Then eliminating the image mosaic, any unwanted information is present, or same information sometimes will present in this image and this image as also. You have to only represent only one time. You cannot overlap these two images. Okay, that is the important one. Then what are the techniques are readily available? There's a direct method and future based method. These are the two techniques are readily available to perform the mosaic operations. Direct methods are, you are just simply taking verification the geometrical parameters of the two images. Okay, the captured with the two different cameras in two different directions. Then we are going to combine these two by locating geometrically. That is a simple direct method. And the second one is a future method. I'm going to extracting this feature image and this feature images. Those two features are matching, feature to feature matching, and going to concatenating or going to cementing together. That is the image mosaic operation. Let me take you to the example, then you will get the more clarity. Then what are the processes are involved in the image mosaic operation? First one, image registration. So that means one image is nothing but having of m by n size. Other image is having of m by 2 by n by 2 size. You have to register these two images with the same size, or otherwise either size matching, either direction matching, either angle matching, or either scanning matching, nothing but capturing device matching. So that is called image registration. Then image wrapping. You should be able to apply some technique, either direct method or feature based method to concatenate those images. Then blending. Once it's concatenated, so you have to remove any patch which is readily available, or some noise information is going to appearing on the image. You have to remove that one. The further phase, we are using the image blending. You can see you have the sequence of images readily applying in the input data. Then you are using the image registration. That means you need to check. It should be common in all the frames. Then you can do the wrapping operation. Then finally blending to combine all the images. Okay, then once you're done with this process, then you can get the high resolutional images. This is the example. Now I will take you example here. The applications are satellite applications and military application. Now you can see this is the camera one output, this is the camera 2 output, this is the final mosaic image, this is the resultant image, this is resultant image. Now you can see here in this case we are missing the pole. We are missing the pole. This image is missing the pole information. But here you can see you are missing the left side information, left side corner information, but you have the pole information. Once if I combine these two by using the wrapping and blending process, after wrapping and blending, this is the final image, high resolution image. Now you can see here you have the left side information, you have the pole information, nothing but any information we are not missing here. That is the important one. Okay, this is about the image mosaic application, either in satellite images also, because we are connecting multiple cameras in different directions of the satellite. So each camera is going to capture different aerial images. Those aerial images are going to combine to get the resultant images. Okay, so here you can see you have the some ocean information is here, that is not readily available. You have some terrestrial information is here in the first image. Those here some land field information is here. Those field information is not this field information is available here, that is not available here. If I combine these two, I have the field information, I have the ocean information also, likewise. Okay, this is the example of the mosaic. Okay, then the next technique is called image matching or registration. This is a very important one, image matching and image registration. So this is the always, if you want to do any research in medical application, the first step you have to remember always, it's a registration process. Okay, image registration or matching means if you have the two images, those two images you are capturing on the same part of the body of the same person. Let me take, I'm taking my MRI scan image. Okay, same person. Okay, and same part of my body. I'm taking MRI image at time T1. After 2 days, again I'm taking MRI images. Okay, so those two images should be matched with all dimensions. What are the dimensions you should match? What is the size and what is the location, geometrical locations, and what is the alignment cases also, all these, and what type of scanning device we are using, all these parameters should correlate and should match. That technique is called as image matching or registration. Image matching or registration purposes, if you have two frames of data, if you want to compare these two frames of data, not and like if the system is ready to compare these two images, and it should have the capability to identify where the missing data is available. Okay, so where the data is newly added, that type of case we are going to applying the matching and registration. Image registration is the process of aligning two or more images of the same scene. This process involves designating one image as the reference image, also called the fixed image, and applying geometric transformations and local displacement to other images so that they align with the reference. Let me take the autonomous driving vehicle. When the vehicle is moving, nothing but there is, it's automatically the driving is happening on the vehicle, then it should be able to identify. First, initially it is going to capture the road image. It's plain. Again, second, it is going to capture the next image. It is going to identify the matching between those two images. If the person is, or object is entered, then there is a mismatch between the previous image and current image. Then the vehicle should take the decision, it has to stop immediately. Okay, this is a perfect example of image matching and registration. Matching is comparing. Registration means matching with the images, among the images. Okay, that is an important one. Then what are the process it follows? Either shape matching, that is geometrical matching, then direct registration, that is just matching with the pixel to pixel location, then feature based registration like our image mosaicing also. Okay, then what are the techniques are available here? You have the techniques, these are the three standard techniques. There are readily available advanced techniques also there, you can go and refer. So the standard techniques are SIFT, that is called scale invariant feature transform, then SRF, that is speed up robust features, then the last one BRIEF, this is also advanced one, OBE also there. That's binary robust independent elementary features. Okay, these are the techniques we are having under the image matching and registration. Let me take you to the example in medical application. Now you can see on my screen on the right side, this is the image one, this is the image two. What are the difference? Visually I can say here one finger is closed, but system how it will identify, it has to check pixel by pixel, pixel by pixel, or otherwise feature by feature I can check only hand. Okay, extract by using of image segmentation. Here also I'm going to extract only hand feature, then I'm comparing hand to hand. So what is the feature is missing, then I can identify. This is one of the matching application. This is the general application. Then this is the medical application. These two are medical application. Now you can see here these two are not matching. How I can say these two are X-ray reports of the same person's body, but here it is some bending is there. Here somehow there is a no blending, some alignment difference is there. So without concluding why the alignment difference is there, you cannot do any diagnosis. That means these two are having of equal alignment or not, you should know. Then only you can do the proper diagnosis or justification on that particular image. Here also you can see this is the image and this is the image. What the difference you can find? What the variation of these two? If you draw one vertical line, perpendicular line, Here also you can draw one perpendicular line. Some angle deviation is there in the captured image. So that also you have to identify. Otherwise, if you give any letter, okay, you want to identify how many number of case are there in my test, like this type of applications also you can use image matching and registrations. Okay, that is the various applications under the image matching and registrations application. Then the next important technique is the image watermarking. Image watermarking, so watermarking is very familiar to all because most of the work is running on this watermarking. So watermarking means I want to add some data to the one content of it. That means I want to add two informations at a time. Okay, or otherwise if I want to tell like a technical with the technical technologies, I can tell that digital watermarking is defined as a process of hiding a small piece of digital information in digital images or any other multimedia data. Okay, I can add my audio, or I can add my information or some passwords, or I can hide, okay, my image. Okay, likewise any data I can hide by using of one other image. That image is called as a cover image. Okay, there are two types of watermarking techniques are available. That is a visible watermarking or invisible watermarking. These two are readily available in both the spatial domain and transform domain. Visible watermarking, the perfect examples are our certificates. Okay, so our OD applications are PC application, PC certificate or OD personal degree or provisional certificates, all are having visible watermarking. Nothing but background you have the university logos. Okay, and invisible watermarking, here it is a completely security applications. I want to hide the information, then immediately you can move to the invisible watermarking process. Okay, then the next one is example. What are the applications? Here I'm giving one example. This is my cover image, Lena image. Here I'm trying to transfer some test message to the other end receiver in a protective way. Then what I'm doing, I'm just hiding this data back of this original cover image. Then the resultant is called this is watermark image. Then the resultant is called as a watermarked image. Here it is a combination of both cover image plus watermark image. This is a combination of both cover image and watermark image. That means you can see here, you cannot identify something is hidden. Okay, that is the important one. So it is most application in cyber security applications or content protection. If you want to transfer your data secretly or protective way, you can transfer the data from long distance also. Okay, and military applications. So wherever you need security application, all authenticative informative cases are all our security application. This is image watermarking is always plays very important role. Okay, so that is invisible watermarking. Then the next one is the image inpainting. This is the last but one technique. Okay, then image inpainting. Image inpainting means, I think you know that. I will first take with one example. Some information you identified some photo of you, that is a very old photo, that nostalgic information of your family data. Then you feel that the data is corrupted due to some noise or nothing but having of degrading of quality of the image is going to happen. Then what you can do, you have to reconstruct the missed data, or you have to replace the damaged data. What you can do, you can go and apply the image inpainting technique. Okay, image inpainting is a conservation process where damaged or destroying or missing parts of an artwork are filled into present a complete image. Okay, but suppose you capture the image. Okay, your satellite is capturing some image, some information, some area of the image is missing. Okay, then what you can do, you are going to estimate that this data or the damaged data, you are going to restore or you are going to reconstruct those data by taking the neighboring relations of the existing information. Okay, this is the image inpainting process. The techniques under this are structural inpainting, textural inpainting, hybrid methods, and semi-automatic inpainting and texture synthetic methods. Okay, here in structural inpainting and texture inpainting, you are just observing the texture based on the surrounding texture you are going to replace. This is the general applications you always use. This structural also. Okay, but hybrid and semi-automatic inpainting is very important one. These two techniques case, the system should have the capability of extracting all the features of the image. Then feature by feature it is going to inpaint. Feature by feature it is going to inpaint and identify the where the damage is happened, either face or either texture, either background or either any other information, likewise, or either character. Likewise, it has to have the capability to identify and to do the painting process also. Okay, then what are the applications under this image inpainting? So here you can see there are the applications are here. Here, this is the degraded. This is the old image, nosologic image of some pain. Okay. Here, some noise. So this is corrupted due to due to some aging problems or something for the image. Okay. Then I'm going to reshape or inpaint that image. You can see, you can identify there is no line here. There is no degrading or some noise is here. That is eliminated easily. Okay. So that is the importance of the image inpainting. Okay. Then next you can see the other archaeology application. So the archaeology are some remote sensing applications. They are going to capture some images, some unwanted due to some focus lines, due to some flash, due to some atmospheric turbulences chances. There's a chance to acquire some unwanted line or some mark on the image. I want to remove that by using of image in painting. How I am removing here? You can see. Can you identify any line is here? No, that is the beauty of this image in painting. Now, the other one, morphing also. You can easily remove the person here in the image and you can just replicate the, you can reproduce the scenery without that person. In this case also you can do, there is image morphing also. Okay, you can do image morphing. That is the important information. Okay, then next one, this applications of image in painting. Then the next one is the image fusion. This is also very trendy research area, image fusion. Here the fusion means combining of two images. Don't confuse with the image mosaicing. Don't confuse with the image watermarking. Remember, in image watermarking, you are not bothering about the cover image. You are bothering about the only hidden data. In image mosaicing, you are bothering about the only the borders, because I have the image one, I have the image two. I want to combine these two images. Okay, I have to bother about only border images. Okay, those two are going to combine, and the resultant is high resolution. That is a more size of the original images. But image fusion is not like that. Image fusion means I want to combine two images, and I am having interest of two image information, and that means I don't want to miss any parameters or any fine details of the images of the image one and image two. Those two images should be combined together, and the resultant image should have the capability of more information than the isolated images or individual images. That is the image fusion. Okay, the techniques are here: spatial domain and transform domain techniques. Okay, the types of image fusion you can apply. There are a lot of image fusion areas are readily available to do your research. That is, either you can go multi-view fusion. If there is a multi-view fusion, is nothing but what we discussed in the image mosaic. I have the camera this direction, I have other camera this direction. It is going to cover this area, it is going to cover this area. I want to combine these two images as a single image. That is a multi-view fusion. Nothing but image mosaic. You can take one of the applications. A multi-focus means I am having the different focal information. So I think you know that if I am able to see you, that is I'm maintaining some focal length, constant focal length, that is 14 nanometers to 17 nanometers. If it is not having constant value in this range, then you have to do some adjustment with some goggles or lenses. Okay, so I'm capturing the image with focal length f1. That is the just zoom in and zoom out options. The other image I captured with f2 focal length. These two are two same image, same location. Okay, on same image or same object or same location, but focal lengths are different. Okay, then it looks like a blurring. Okay, then I want to combine together. That is a multi-focus fusion. Then multi-temporal fusion. I am capturing the image at time t1. Other image I captured it after, nothing but post lunch and pre lunch. Okay, sometimes when you are approaching the physician, they will ask you go after post lunch or pre lunch. They are going to take the scan reports also. Okay, that times you can take the multi-temporal fusion. Then multimodal. This is the medical applications or some satellite applications also. I'm capturing the same image. I'm capturing the same object with multiple scanning devices, either CT scan or MRI scan or IRI sensor, IR scanners, or using some UV scanners. Likewise, you have multiple devices or multiple acquisition system is going to capture the image. I want to combine. Okay, so these are the image fusion techniques are readily available to apply on your applications order. Okay, now you can see here I'm trying to address few applications of image fusion medical. You can see it is nothing but my MRI scan report. This is PET on the same area of the patient. Remember, same part and same area of the patient, same patient and same part of the patient. Okay, this MRI and PET, this giving the soft tissue information, this giving the color density. There is nothing but the like some blood vessel information of that particular part of the body. Then physician should be able to concentrate on image 1 and image 2. But instead of this, if I do fusion, you can see this is the resultant. You can see all the information is present. Okay, all the information is present. There is no missing of any content. Okay, that is the image fusion. You have the MRI data, you have the PET data also. Then you can see this is called as a multi-focus image. This is the focal length f1 I captured. This is the focal length f2 I captured. Okay, this is multimodal. Remember, this is multimodal because I am using the two different acquisition system. One is MRI scanner, one is PET scanner. This is the multi-focus. This is multi-focus. I am using the two focal lengths f1 and f2. I am going to capture, and this is the resultant. Here, the data is blurred here. Here, this data is blurred. If I combine these two, the all information is clear. Okay, then this is the next one. This is also multimodal for satellite applications. Okay, now you can see this is a panachromatic image, this is a multispectral images. I want to combine these two to give the more clarity on the buildings or trees location or some aerial view likewise. So these are the applications of image fusion. Okay, then the next last one is called image ditchering. Image ditchering is the last area. Dear coordinators, shall I take 5 more minutes? Is it okay for all?
Okay, madam. Okay, madam. You can take.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much. I will take only 5 more minutes. Then I will end with my section. Thank you so much. Yeah, thanks for your confirmation. Yeah, the last technique is the image ditchering. Image ditchering is nothing but, here you can see, ditchering is used in computer graphics to create the illusion of color depth. Let me take one example. I am using the normal CRT screens TV. Now I am using LCD panel. Then I will go with LED panels, or I can go with other higher end of panels. Every time the technology is going to change, but I have the data. That means I have the data. I want to see the same data in CRT screen. I want to see the same data in the LED screen or LCD screen or any mobiles or any screen panels or any panels. How it can do? The technique is called ditchering. The ditchering is nothing but it will give the capability of the screening system to represent or to display the any type of any quality of images. Sometimes it is higher end of quality. Let me take one example. I am using the higher end of mobile. I am capturing my image. Okay, it is a high quality image. Okay, HD quality image. Now I am transferring that image through WhatsApp to other mobile. Then that other person is not having that quality. It is maintained the some normal model mobiles. Then that person also will receive the same image, and that is also visible but with less noise. But that is also displayed but with less noise. Okay, or some noisy image. That is called image ditchering. The ditchering is nothing but we are providing the screen. We are giving the capability of screen to produce any type of image, either high quality images or low quality image. That is called color depth information. Okay, on system with a limited color palettes. Okay, it is possible to display a gray level image in a bi-level devices. For suppose my TV is a black and white TV, but the broadcasting information is a gray level image. But in this case also, I am able to represent my gray level data and my bi-level data and my bi-level devices. That is an example of the monochrome images. Okay, display and many hard copy printers by using a technique called image ditchering. The techniques are Faldenstein. That is Faldenstein is the scientist, all the scientist names, and Stuckey and Burkes and Syra and Jarvis. These are the ditchering techniques. Okay, then I am taking the applications of ditchering process, that is LCD displays, okay, and color mobile handsets and video cameras and satellite cameras and receivers, medical imaging application and defense imaging application. So this is having lot of applicational areas. Now you can see in the right side my screen. Okay, here you can see I think yeah, here this is the original image. This is actually generated with 8 bits, but I am representing, I want to show, I want to display this image with on 1 bit screen also. Again it is displaying but with little noise. Here also it is displaying, but what technique I used? This is the without ditchering process, random ditchering process, but here I am using the my ditchering process, ditchering technique. Then it is displaying with less noise. It is Faldenstein ditcher. This is a standard model. It is also displaying with a few noise. Likewise, it is actual display with that particular system. But here, with my ditchering techniques, I can able to display the same image with a few corrupted information. Okay, so that is the beauty of the image ditching. So you have lot of applications in medical applications and defense imaging application, because you have to remember that all users and all receiver ends are not having of same configuration models to display the image. Then the configuration, the receiver also should have the capability to restore the data. Then they have to use this type of technique. Okay, this is about the image ditching technique. Okay, then the last important slide is nothing but thank you. Thank you so much, Sri Vasavi Engineering College Autonomous team, for giving this opportunity. I hope I given my better section with the better information, and I'm taking 5 more minutes to clarify your doubts.